why are people spending more and doubling down then if it's only getting more expensive?
That's a great question. Fear, I think.
Yeah.
I'm trying something new. The cost of falling on your face,
Yeah.
like again, that lighting money on fire. It's hard to know. Paid typically takes a fair amount of experimentation to get right. Um, I'll just say where I sort of teased it earlier, but I just
Yeah.
say like what I think is hugely missing in paid is benchmark data. Right? Is like understand like no why like it boggles my mind that there isn't a company out there that doesn't aggregate and anonymize segment by persona and then say, okay, here's what's working if you're going after cybersecurity companies. Here's what, or here's what's working if you're going after HR, and sort of helping like provide that data to help steer. Now, does it lead to like a reversion to the mean? Yes, but yeah, like, and will the best marketers always kind of still take a first principles approach? But I think it de-risks a lot of the investment if you can learn from your peers in a way that's not compromising, I guess is the right word.
Mm.
Yeah.
It would be hugely beneficial, and there's benchmarks for so many things. So
Yeah.
what's the barrier to creating paid benchmarks? Immediately what pops in my head
Yeah.
is the fragmentation we've been talking about and people not actually having the data around what is effective because of the B2B
Well,
environment.
if we keep growing, we'll have
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
starting to produce the data. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, we're working on kind of our first set of those. We're just kicking off some fun data science around that. We've finally kind of hit the scale around certain personas where we can produce that. And we want to build that into the product. And that is what I think helps that maybe the marketer who's spending $1 million a month on Google actually decide to put some of that money into Meta. Maybe that founder who's trying out marketing for the first time to like, press the on button, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I love it. Well, we're excited to see that
Yeah.
come. And then for companies that you're working with
Mhm.
as you're growing and scaling, we talked about generally what size of company or stage of company makes sense to do paid advertising. What stage of company does it make sense for them to look at Primer?
Typically, we currently, right? I
Yeah.
think it's going to change. But currently we serve companies with, that are already investing about $10,000 a month on average in ad spend. That's sort of the litmus test we found for like, all right, we've got a motion, it's working. How do we, and it's enough where we can make it more efficient, basically. I think at that point, what we've found is anybody spending under that is going to turn it off, turn it back on, turn it off, turn it back on. And as a software business, we don't like that. So,
Certainly not ideal.
yeah. So that's kind of that's a short answer to your question.
Yeah.
Or maybe a long answer. I don't
People
know.
that have always on paid systems at
Yeah.
that scale.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah. Typically around 150 to 100 employees as well is kind of what we find.
Yeah. That's a really helpful benchmark.
Yeah.
And Keith, a lot of people think about paid as just direct pipeline generation, but there's so many other outcomes that come from anything that gives you data from the customer.
Yeah.
How do you think about the actual utility of paid? Like, how should people be thinking about their programs and what quantitative and qualitative information that they're gathering?
Yeah. I think one of the coolest things about paid is that if you think about it, right, it's the thing that's furthest up your funnel. Right? Impressions are the thing that's furthest up your funnel. So if you feel confident you're reaching your ideal customers, you can get a lot of eyeballs on a lot of messages in a really short time frame. So it's incredibly powerful, not just obviously like message testing, not just to drive those, form submits and leads, but message testing that can help inform your strategy more generally, like what your website should say. You can really iterate with messaging at a much faster pace than you can anywhere else. And that is one of the huge benefits that obviously AI unlocks as well.
Yeah, it sounds like the actual learning loop itself from it.
Yeah.